All right, welcome to Side Action, episode 6 of season 7. My name is Jim Weggars, aka Wegs. You can follow me on X and on Instagram at Wegspool. I changed it.
Yeah, look at that. And I'm Coop. You can check me out on Instagram at Dalton Cooper, on X at Mr. Grumpy Gills. Again, we are the Side Action podcast. It's Friday.
It's Friday, baby.
Hair's down.
Hair's down.
It's happy hour.
It's happy hour. You've got a
nice champagne of beers.
Thanks, Nicole, for the highlight.
Yeah, right. The nice little champagne of beers. So let's get into it. You look like you have a lot to talk about. I saw this outline when I was looking at it last night. I started and I really did more of it this morning. And I was like, oh boy. I saw the first thing that I didn't even put anything in it because I was just in awe of what you have. I wanted to give you the floor.
So let's just say, I was in Hawaii. I'm here. Obviously, we're in the Edgewater Studios. We're back
live.
In person, live. It doesn't happen too often these days.
Handless mics. We're really
handless mics. Look at this. This might follow the plane now. So I went out and it was great. Social life's kicking up. There's a guy, Paul. We'll talk about Paul in a minute. But Khan is a guy who lives in Chicago. He moved to Hawaii 4 years ago. Great guy. Very generous guy. He introduced me to the volleyball crew there. Paul is the guy with the big elephant tattoo on his tummy.
Okay.
You've seen him. He's won a swerve.
Right.
Very good volleyball player. But he's like, where does that elephant tattoo go to? Because it's like his elephant face and ears.
Is this you asking, or is this what the word on the street?
First of all, every time when I saw him at the beach, I'm like, oh, did you meet Paul? They're like, yeah, everybody wants to know about the tattoo. I'm like, well, you can go find out. I've never found out personally if the trunk goes all the way down or not. But anyway, so Con, Paul, and I have been hanging out a lot. There's some guys out there. One of the guys, Brandon, he's a fun guy. He's like, hey, we're doing Oktoberfest on Saturday. I'm like, great. I was just kind of like washing my clothes for the trip. Let me just chill out. Then I go out at night, meet those guys. And Brandon's got a ton of friends. So anyway, we're hanging out. We do Oktoberfest with this other place called Bevy, which is just a bar. And they have a DJ. And our little shtick was this guy was walking around with like those little, sticker gems. And he was putting them all over people's faces. It's like
how's the weather, by the way?
85 degrees and sunny.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. Even at night. So what's it?
It's 70-ish.
Okay.
Right?
I'm just trying to paint a mental picture.
Yeah, picture. Yeah. So they're putting the gems on my glasses. Okay, whatever. So then after that, let's go to Chinatown. Yeah, Chinatown's kind of where it's at. Now, Honolulu is a young city. It's a lot like DC. You'd thrive there. It's like 21 to 28. Like everybody's in that age range. It's tight, young group. And I know it. No big deal. I've been around young people. I don't really care. Young at heart. So we go to the first place, had a pretty good time, a little bit of dancing. We kind of course, my buddy Jeff, another volleyball guy, showed up with another dude. He's macking on some ladies. They're young, they're like 21 or something. And so they're like, hey, let's go across the street to Manifest.
Nice adjective, by the way. Mackin'?
Yeah, Mackin'.
Okay.
Old school.
Nice.
Mac Daddy. So we go across the street to Manifest, another cool spot in Chinatown. Has a DJ in the front. In the back, there's like pool table and video games and stuff. It's a very cool spot. Someday you'll make it. Maybe Lieutenant Kaz will. We walk in. It's like 12:30. I mean, I've been out for a while, 5 hours. I'm not drunk. I'm feeling pretty good. But obviously, some other people have gotten after a little bit more than me in this big group of people. It's not just people I know. It's just randos too. And the bar's closed at 2 there. So you kind of got to get after. It's 12:30. Go get a drink. Come out. Hey guys, here's your whatever you're drinking, vodka, cran. I don't know what they're drinking. I'm in there for 5 seconds. I take one sip. I guess it's 12:30. I've been out for a bit. Take one sip of that vodka soda. Somebody throws up all over me.
What?
Throws up on my hair and my back of my shirt.
Oh no!
Disgusting. I was like, at first when it happened, I'm like, oh, that's a hot drink. And then I look and there's vomit everywhere. And they grab this guy and they pull him right out. And I'm like, somebody threw up on me. And like, I went to the bathroom, tried to get some of it off my shirt so I could go in an Uber home. I mean, you probably just taken your shirt off like a man.
Oh,
but I mean, I was like, so I had to leave immediately, of course. And I'd wait like full 10 minutes for an Uber as I'm standing on the other side of the street. And like,
How close is the ocean? Man, you just jump in the ocean at that point.
Wasn't close enough. And so I rode on the way home, leaning forward.
Oh, my
terrible.
God.
But anyway, next day, played some volleyball, flew, and then had my work retreat, which is like just 3 days of drinking. It's like we played golf on Tuesday and happy hour at night. Wednesday
I saw that. What golf course was that?
It's called Seaview, and that was not that's the forest course. There's like a forest side and there's a seaside course. I actually played pretty good.
Okay.
I think it's because my body didn't know what time zone it was.
Nice.
Because I basically didn't sleep. I did go to the casino on Monday, lost some money at the tables and gambling those stupid games. And then when I went home, I went to the hotel. I stayed up to like 1 because it was like, whatever time it is Hawaii time. And I barely had slept at that point. I'm like, let me let myself sleep, Coop. Let me let myself sleep. Golf is until 11. It'll be fine, right?
Right.
I woke up at 11:30. I'm like, oh my God. I didn't set an alarm, so I was like, just let my body sleep. 11:30, but I rushed out just in time as they were pulling out. They actually, it was like 12 that they were actually going to go to the actual hole. So it was perfect timing. It was like Ridgeway.
Nice.
And then lastly, as you know, I'm a fun guy. Everybody likes to have fun. They had a guest speaker the first day, and it was the Philly Fanatic. You know who the Philly Fanatic is?
Who doesn't know who the Philly
The
Fanatic
original Philly Fanatic from like 1978 to like 5-7 years ago. He actually was a guest speaker. Sorry, he was a guest speaker for us. And he was great. His whole thing was like the power of fun and all that kind of, an acronym. And so the whole theme was like fun for the thing. We did like these crazy Olympic stuff. Then we do karaoke the last night and everything. You can imagine how I get after that.
Oh yeah.
So I won. They gave out 3 awards: Rookie of the Year. They gave out the MVP, and then they gave out the fan favorite. So I won the fan favorite.
Really?
Award. Yes.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yes,
Did you get like a picture with the Philly
I should probably
Fanatic,
run and get it. I did not get a picture. I have a book for the Philly Fanatic, but I got our founder, Mike Levitt. They have a bobblehead of him. I got a bobblehead of him.
Nice.
They also made baseball cards. I got to show you. They made baseball cards with us and our stats on the back. It's kind of fun.
Cool. Yeah.
Whole baseball theme. You'd have loved it.
That's cool. Heck yeah.
So anyway, that was my last week. What about yourself?
Man, nothing. I was gonna say nothing really. It's just been kind of routine, school, and getting all that situated. So December will be here faster than we know it.
Yeah, you're making things happen, dude. Yeah. What are you gonna say? I mean, you're like focusing. You're focusing. I'm supposed to be focusing, and
I'm in the grind. Yeah, we're in it.
Getting thrown up on it.
Yeah, that is
winning bobbleheads.
God, I could go without that. You painted an awful mental picture in my head.
So gross, but
I can't imagine.
So anyway, let's transition to the shed now.
Yeah.
I'll let you go first.
How tall was that guy, by the way?
Theo threw up?
Yeah.
I didn't see him. I don't even know.
I was gonna say,
I just felt vomit on my back. I looked down and the vomit's going. Next thing I know, 2 security guards are yanking somebody out. I was too focused on, oh my God, did he threw up on me?
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was.
Nice. Well, who else would you put in the shed, would you say?
Well, that guy wasn't in the shed, even though he should be in the shed. I will say Doug Peterson first.
Okay.
Is in the shed.
Nice.
I think he's lost his team. We will see. I can't believe he isn't fired. He didn't get fired, right?
No.
He should have been.
Trevor Lawrence is just bad.
Trevor Lawrence isn't great. I will agree, but I don't think it's just Trevor Lawrence. I think that the team is not playing inspired football. So anyway, they were our pick on Monday night. That was a terrible pick. I'm like, oh, they're gonna look. All the 0-2 teams, only 2 teams didn't win.
Right.
Here are 3, I should say: the Titans, the Jags, and the Bengals, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So I'm putting them in the shed. They've lost like 11 of the last 12 games. I think Trevor Lawrence has lost 11 of his last 11 games. Yeah. So maybe it is Trevor Lawrence. Maybe you're right. Maybe
he hasn't won since Thanksgiving, I think.
Yeah, since he got hurt that one time on Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
And then the other guy is Paul. And Paul doesn't listen to the podcast. He should.
Yeah.
Paul, as we discussed, elephant tattoo. Don't know where it goes. Hey, Paul. You need a place to stay. I'm going to be out of town for a while. You can stay at the Airbnb if you'd like. Here's a set of keys. He's been super nice. I've gotten to know him better. He drove to the airport, whatever. Here's your set of keys. Great. You know how to use the keys? There's a fob for the elevator, key. Great. Yeah. I'm good. You going to drive when you get there? I don't think so. I think we'll get rid of the car. Great, because I don't have a car.
Right.
But there's a parking spot with this Airbnb. I just never used it.
Okay.
So anyway, first day was, I think it was Tuesday. I'm at my thing. I get a message. Dude, I locked myself out. First day. He left the keys in the apartment. So then, and these things about Airbnbs in Hawaii, it's a little dicey. I'm not saying it's illegal, but like you register through a host and then they go through the building because it's a condo. I was there for 2 weeks, not a problem. Go to my place, go in and out. Go to my place, go in and out. Hey, that's it. I just go to work, come home. Go out, come home. Doesn't matter. Got the fobs, good. This dude, first day, lose the key. So now all of a sudden I'm wrapped in you have to give them my name, and then I'm communicating with the host. This is all via text, in Hawaii. I'm East Coast now. Like, oh, his name is Paul, whatever the hell his name is. Here it is. They send it. He's got to be on there. And then he's like, did they send the email? I'm like, I think they sent the email. I'm like, all this logistics. He finally gets the keys. Great. Okay, great. No problem. Think you're good, right? Hell no. Yesterday, I'm driving back from the thing, driving back to Philly. Got to drop the rental car off from Atlantic City. Drop the car off to Philly. Trying to take my phone calls for work and driving back. All of a sudden, get a text that they're giving me a hard time about parking and guest parking. I'm like, oh, you drove the car? Yeah, it wasn't a problem the first night. Okay, the host hits me. I'm getting a call from the registration. Your friend isn't supposed to park there. He has to register the car. I'm like, okay, like I've never had to do this stuff. I didn't have a car. I didn't have to worry about it. I'm like, isn't there a stall? Oh yes, it's stall 6030. No problem. Like, Paul, go find 6030. Guess what? There's a gate to get to 6030 in the parking deck. You have to have another fob, not the regular one. That's something else.
That's why you got to go register it.
Right. And no, they're actually it's in the unit. I didn't know that. They didn't tell me that because I didn't have a car.
Right.
It's in the unit, but you still have to register the car with your license plate. That was yesterday. I'm like, Marron. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention the key, $50 charge. He did pay me the fee, so he's all good.
Okay.
But Paul, you're a great guy. I like you, but you need to be in the shed for a while. This has been way too much stress on my little work trip. And I mean, he was going to stay even for a few days when I come back. I'm sure he will, but it's like, bro, this ain't hard.
Yeah, put him in the trunk, eh?
So anyway, there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
That's quite the story, man.
How about yourself?
I hope he gets it together, just for Paul's sake, honestly.
He's playing a tournament tomorrow. I'll probably win the tournament, and who knows? Yeah. Hopefully, he's not getting me kicked out of this place because I'm supposed to stay there for another 2 months, and it's got a great pool.
Nice.
It's a great place.
You can't beat that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, we're going to start with Teresa Witherspoon. So she got fired by the Chicago Sky yesterday after just one season with the team, 3 years removed after they had won their WNBA championship. Yeah, so they were 13-27 this year, and they were 3-13 after the Olympic break. So they were actually still in contention for a playoff spot, and then obviously Angel Reese, she had her wrist surgery or whatever.
Yeah,
so that was kind of the nail in the coffin for this team. But after 1 year, that's tough. That's tough.
I agree, especially when she won the title 3 years ago.
Yeah, there's a lot. No, she didn't, but the franchise did.
So what was that? What happened to that?
She's only
coach?
been there for a season. Honestly, I don't know enough about Chicago Sky, to be honest. So I just know after 1 year, that's never a good thing.
Never good.
No, that usually means that the organization did not like anything about what you did.
No, sorry, Teresa.
Yeah, so
there's plenty of room in the shed.
Yeah, you can hang out with Paul. He's real friendly.
Actually, he is very friendly.
Very friendly. Yeah, you can find him where that trunk goes. That'd be great. And we have Team International. So the President's Cup started yesterday. So they got taken to the shed because the USA swept Thursday 4 balls. They went 5-0 yesterday to start off. So we have the Friday foursomes, which I might start adding to this podcast. That sounds kind of fun.
It sounds like a great Friday night to me.
Yeah.
I'm used to the Friday threesomes.
Oh, wow. Look at you. Nice. So we've got the foursomes on the horizon today. Obviously, the U.S. has up 5-0. It takes 15.5 points to win the cup. So we're a third of the way there and only 1 day in.
You mean Team International? We're whooping Team International.
Oh, yeah.
So I see Team International's in the shed.
Yep.
So come on in. So who's on this team? I mean, this guy's usually pretty good.
They got Sung J M.
Okay.
Tom Kim is another one, I believe.
Asian guys so far.
Yeah. Scotty Scheffler is on obviously Team USA.
So not like John Rahm or
John Rahm might be. It should be on Presidents.
Sorry to throw a wrinkle there. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
So when they do the foursomes, how do they do that? So it's like 2 and 2, like it's 2 scores are combined against the other 2, or is that how they do it?
So the Thursday play is like that, like it's alternating shot. I believe.
Alternating shot. Nice.
And then Friday, I believe, is each person plays their own ball.
Okay.
And then obviously you take your best score out of your 2 guys.
Nice.
Way. So, but like Jason Day is on Team International, Hideki Matsuyama. Let's see who else is on here. It does seem to have quite a bit of Asian people because there was Adam Scott and Taylor Pendrith.
Very good.
He's Canadian, and Adam Scott, I believe, he's
a Brit, isn't he? Or is he Australian?
I think he's Australian. Yeah. But anyway, that's who I had in the shed this week.
Plenty of room in there, guys. Make some. We're building another wing in there, even though Club Dub is getting bigger by the week. So, but by the way, Club Dub is really just kind of a week thing. You're in there, you party it up, and you leave.
You're supposed to.
Well, you're supposed to. I mean, when you're at Murphy,
But sometimes people get on rolls.
Some guys. First
Just,
of all, we've already made an established thing. We have to have a ginger in there at all times.
Oh, okay.
So go ahead.
Nice. Well, this may sound like a broken record, but Sam Darnold, he
Darnold.
lives on.
He does.
We got to talk about a promotion for him, I think.
What's better than Club Dub?
Well, I'm just thinking maybe like he's going to be a promoter for Club Dub. Like maybe we should start getting him on the books since he's in here so often.
Okay, he's like the part owner.
Yeah. Well, if anything, we like maybe he can like promote us. We can NIL him if that makes sense.
Maybe
like
Club Double.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Whatever. Anyway.
That's W in French.
Yeah, right. The tank tickler. But yeah, he had 4 touchdowns against Houston. Obviously, they won, and they're leading the NFC North at 3-0.
The hell out of Houston. Wasn't even close.
Yeah, it was tough. I had the over in that game, which was so sad. I just needed one score. Just needed one score. So, and I also had Malik Neighbors. So unfortunately, he got knocked out of the game last night. But before that, he became the first player in NFL history to record at least 25 receptions and 3 touchdowns in his first 4 games.
That's awesome.
Currently has 35 catches for 386 yards on the season. Also, I think he's the leading fantasy wide receiver right now. So
I should have picked him.
Yep.
Should have picked him, especially in that turn.
Everybody had the chance.
He's really good. No, he's a stud. He's good both run after catch and deep ball. I really like his game, despite Daniel Jones. Right? I think we're gonna have a special guest in a second here. So my club dub is another ginger, Andy Dalton.
Nice.
We talked about him last week. The Red Rifle. He's back. He kicked butt his first 3 drives. I think they scored touchdowns, 319 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and 0 INTs. Take that, Bryce Young. That's how you do it, son. And the irony is, one of our proxies, Dave, my brother-in-law, was at the game.
Nice.
And he was messaging. He's like, what's that? But you're the reason why the Raiders lost, obviously. But, no, it's also the Red Rifle. So
hey, we gave you the over in that game.
We did.
Yeah, we did. That was a winner. That cashed real quick.
I thought you picked the side too.
Yeah, I did. But the over, I would have put a lot more money in. Yeah, for sure.
And then I have Juwan Jennings as well. And I just put Debo who.
Yeah.
And I don't think Debo's going to play again this week, so we'll see. But there it is. There's our ambulance. We know where we are. 11 catches, 175 yards. That is a monster game. 3 TDs in a loss. I mean, they should have won the game, but they didn't.
You gave me that one too.
I know we did. That was
we both took the same side on that one.
Oh my God. We picked that one. But Juwan Jennings was great. I liked seeing him get the opportunity. I remember him a couple of years ago in the playoff game, had a big game, and I just like him. He just hasn't had the opportunity. So he finally got the opportunity and cashed in. So Juwan, come on in, hang out with the redheads, see what happens in there.
Yeah, and Art Murphy's in there.
Well, Art's in the Amalfi Coast right now, or at least his videos are from that. So.
Okay, well, he's also in our chat.
Wait, look at this guy. We've got a Murphy sighting. Hey, Art, tell us if in the Amalfi Coast now or if that was last week, because in the end, we really want to know. You are Club Dub, basically. You're like the bouncer of Club Dub. You tell people you're the red rope guy.
He's probably the one we should talk about promoting Sam Darnold.
last week. But thank you for posting and thank you for being in the chat. We like that. Hopefully Luke is listening somewhere. So let's talk about college picks. As we you stayed pretty hot still. I mean, I know you don't like your 2-2, but I think that's still winning. So we've got Illinois, man. This was Friday night action.
I told you those games are weird.
It's more that I think our guy Raiola, who's really a good player, I think he got a little cocky maybe here and there, and more importantly, Illinois' offense came to play. I mean, they kept scoring with them. They ended up winning in overtime, 31-24. And I mean, are the Illini legit?
I don't know. We're gonna find out this week.
It is a big one. Penn State.
They're going to Happy Valley.
And then this one we're not on. The Trojans obviously were favored in the Big House, and I kind of said it 2 games this year where they're going to be dogs at home. Well, guess what? They gave them something, and even only passing for 32 yards, they won this game 27-24. I mean, it was on the last drive. They did give up that big run too, meaning the Trojans, because they couldn't bottle up. But wasn't even a running back that went off? He had 159 yards or something like that. But
Mullins?
Yeah, Mullins was the other guy.
Mullins,
yeah.
They also had a pick 6 in that game.
That always helps. Yeah. Helps the scoring. And then Utah, they hold off Oklahoma State. I think it's what you said, though. If you look at the scoring, Utah was up big in this game.
Yeah.
But then as soon as it started getting dark, OK State, they came back. They scored a bunch in the fourth quarter, but they didn't have enough to get them, and they ended up winning at 22-19 in Utah, so they hold them off. And it actually went down to a pick because Utah, I think Cam Resnick did end up playing that game, right?
I don't think he did.
He didn't? Oh, wow. I wonder why it fell down that much, because they were dogs at one point, and then it fell when they got to it. So the last one I wanted to highlight, was our guy or my team, my adopted team, the Tennessee Vols.
Nice.
They went into Norman and they just spanked them. I mean, the score was 25-15, but this game was not close. And it was more the defense that surprised me. I really think they played great. And this is, obviously they were holding down terrible teams for a while. But as much as I like the Nico, my guy, the quarterback, he's playing great. But it's not like he's lighting the world on fire. It's just they're playing solid and they have really good receivers and their defense is playing great.
It's good complementary football.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love to see it. So I didn't mark them up, but I know you went 2-2 last week. I can't remember which picks didn't go well. Which ones didn't go well for you?
The Western Kentucky game. We remember that was.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, there was a delay because Toledo was covering.
Yep.
And then a delay happened, and all of a sudden the whole game just flipped. And
Goddamn lightning.
Yeah, and then we had the.
Not Notre Dame.
No,
it was.
I don't know. Talk about this week's game.
Okay,
Camp Rising didn't play, by the way.
Camp Rising didn't play? Okay, good. Okay, so this week, week 5 in college, we've got some big games. Oklahoma State's back in action again at Kansas State. Kansas State is a 5-point favorite at home, 57.5-point total. Oh, Georgia Tech.
Yeah, well. That was a literally 11-point game. They could have kicked 2 field goals.
Yeah, you had the number. It was the number.
I did, yeah.
It's the number. Number got you.
Anyway.
Happens more in college than in the pros. So OK State against Kansas State. 5-point favorite for Kansas State and 57.5-point total. This is an early game at 11 a.m. Central. I don't know. What do you think about this game? You think Gundy's team bounces back? K-State's been struggling too as well, right?
No, K-State just got beat at BYU.
That's what I thought.
They were undefeated going into that game.
BYU's pretty good though.
Yeah, it was a battle of 3-0 teams. I like K-State at home.
Okay.
I don't know if I love that number though. I would definitely take the under, I think, in this game too.
Mm-hmm.
You have obviously an older experienced quarterback for Oklahoma State, but I don't know, just something about K-State being at home and it being an early game. I think it just favors
bounce back spot after the BYU loss.
Well, I mean, Oklahoma State just lost to Utah.
They did. They did, but I'm not sure if I'm a believer yet. We'll see what happens. Okay, so about Louisville's the 15th ranked team against Notre Dame, 16th ranked team. Notre Dame's a healthy 7-point favorite in this one, 46-point total. That's a 3:30 Central. Seems like a big number, doesn't it?
No, Notre Dame has scored like 70 or 80 points combined in the last 2 games.
Since losing.
Since losing. They scored 66 on Purdue, and then they scored like 40, I think, last week. So
interesting.
If anything, it was a wake-up call. I would take Notre Dame here. I think Louisville's kind of a fraud.
Okay, so they're a fraud.
I think Louisville. Yeah, at home, I think that was a wake-up call. I think it's not necessarily what they needed, but it's what they got.
Yeah.
So I think from this point out, they're going to have to, they know from this point forward they can't lose. So they only have so many ranked teams on their schedule, like USC at the end of the year. We don't even know if USC is going to be ranked at that point. So
they got to beat them when they get them.
They got to start getting their style points in now if they're going to make the playoff.
Okay. The biggest game on the weekend, Georgia's going to Alabama. Georgia's the second-ranked team to Alabama 4. Georgia's a short favorite at a 1-point favorite on the road, 49.5-point total. This is 6:30 p.m. Central. What do you think? Do you think that Kirby is a nest? They don't play very often in the regular season, but the one time they did lose against Alabama. Do you think they get a little revenge, or is Alabama the play on this one?
I think this game is going to be more about Kirby just against Alabama in general because I think the pressure is solely on Georgia. If
Kalen DeBoer's first year.
Well, I don't even necessarily think it's that. It's that the only team that ever gave Kirby trouble was Alabama when Nick Saban was there. So if Alabama wins this game, does that mean they have an Alabama problem when they thought they had a Nick Saban problem? Or so that whole train of thought I think would throw a whole wrench in Georgia's plan as far as that. But I think Alabama's a team with nothing to lose. And when's the last time they were home dogs? What?
I mean,
had to be 2007, I think.
Before Saban.
It was really. I think it was definitely early 2000s. I remember hearing that stat, but it was 20 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think you take Alabama. I think I take the points.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's such a short number.
Yeah.
It's
a pickup.
It's like a pickup.
Yeah.
I mean, probably in the rivalry, it's probably best to take the points. Likely.
Yeah, I think Jalen Milroe could scramble and just make a couple plays, and it's going to come down to possession and being able to drive down the field because Georgia's defense is the number 1 defense against explosive plays, while Alabama has the most explosive play offense, or second best in the country. So
it's going to give.
That's what Alabama's been kind of scoring a lot of their points on, is having those explosive plays, very similar to the NFL. But I think that's going to be the key of the game. So if Georgia can only, doesn't give up any explosive plays, then obviously I think they win. But if Alabama can get, 1 or 2,
get a couple,
especially early,
right,
just to build the confidence,
get the crowd going.
I don't like that game. I'm gonna be a viewer on that game. Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe I'll take the under and root for
it won't
defense.
be on at the Island Party Hut, but we can put it on our phones or something.
Yeah.
So
take the under, Art.
Under Art. There you go.
I like the under because especially with the rain, I don't know if the rain's been affecting that area.
Yeah, that's true.
You could have a soggy field.
The hurricane, sure. And here we go. You mentioned it before. Illinois, they're 19th ranked now at Penn State, number 9. 18-point dogs on the road at Penn State, 47.5 point total. Am I missing something? Is Penn State that good? 18 points? Am I overreacting to Illinois' the way they've been playing? We know Kansas was a fraud. We already know that.
Yeah, we did.
Do we think Nebraska's a fraud?
No, I don't think Nebraska's a fraud.
So my thing is 18 points? That's like a beatdown. I don't know.
3 scores, eh?
I haven't done any math, but I would take the points here. I can't see it. James, I'm not saying Illinois is Ohio State or Michigan, right? Because we know Penn State, they can't beat those teams. They never can cover. At home, I guess it's going to be a whiteout or something at 6:30 p.m. Central.
It's not a whiteout, but James Franklin has asked for whiteout energy.
Why can't it can only be one whiteout a year? Is that the deal?
I guess.
That's obviously when Michigan.
Well, until they make the playoff, I'm sure they'd have a whiteout. Well, they probably wouldn't get a home game.
Well, tell me why I wouldn't take Illinois plus 18.
I mean, by that logic, it makes sense. I mean, Altmaier's been good. He's got 10 touchdowns and like 2 picks. So, I mean, he's been pretty good from that regard. And they have an experienced coach. He likes to play physical. He likes to run the football. He likes to play complementary offense and defense. So, like, as long as the crowd doesn't get – I mean, if they could take the crowd out early, I feel like that would be – you're right. I feel like that's the side here. But Penn State's also got, really good athletes. They're really good on defense as well. So I think that is a step up in class from all.
Okay.
I think Penn State's defense is probably right behind Ohio State's.
Okay.
I would almost put Penn State's ahead of Michigan, even though Michigan's probably defensive line is probably better, but their overall defense probably isn't as good as Penn State's. But
defensive backs.
Yeah, it's close. Well, Michigan's got a first rounder in their secondary for sure, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm with you. I would probably take the points, but I don't feel good about it just because. You're waiting for the pumpkin effect here.
Well,
right?
That's why we're staying away. You're going to tell us which games to listen to. I know Art likes Illinois. I know he's an Illinois guy. So tell Art who to bet on because he's been making money. He went to the Amalfi Coast on your picks last year. That's where he got the ticket money.
That's awesome. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're hoping to do on this podcast. So we're 8-4 this year so far. ATS.
It's good.
It should be better. So we'll get better. This week will be better. We'll go 4-0.
4-0.
So we're gonna start with Nebraska.
Okay.
And we're gonna take Nebraska minus the 10 at Purdue. Purdue got mollywopped by Notre Dame. They let Notre Dame come in and put 66 on them the week after they lost to Northern Illinois. So I think it's the perfect bounce back spot for them. They get hammered, and it's going to be a good time for Nebraska. I love Fresno State plus 2.5 at UNLV. So the 2.5, they're getting 2.5. Did you see the NIL happening with their quarterback? Did you see that happen this week where their quarterback is not playing anymore? He's leaving the program because a coach promised him $100,000 and they never paid him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you said UNLV was finally ranked and having all that buzz, and now their quarterback's gone. Their starting quarterback's
that could be an influential factor.
They're giving 2.5 points to Fresno State. I just think that's going to throw a real big wrench in the program. I agree. And if a team coming in is getting points. Fresno State hung with Michigan at the beginning of the year too. So we'll stay there. And then with Eastern Michigan, they're minus 14. They're at Kent State.
Back to the MAC. Let's go.
Kent State is the worst defense in FBS football this
year.
They're
golden flashes. They're not golden walls.
We're gonna bank with Eastern Michigan, just hammering them with that bad defense.
14 points. Okay.
And then I'm gonna ride with Oklahoma. So they're switching quarterbacks.
Okay.
They're getting a point against Auburn. They're going to Auburn, I guess. So. I like the spot. I think physically they match up better. Also, Cal went into Auburn this year and beat Auburn.
Okay.
Auburn's not terrible. I just don't think they could physically match up as well with.
So they're going with the younger guy who came in later in the game against.
They're coming in. Well, he's a little more mobile too.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the idea. Hey, they can at least take him in there. They can spread him out. They can play kind of that run and gun and at least make the defense declare what they're going to do. Kind of similar to what the Jets have started to do with Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that.
Okay. And then your bonus pick. He's got a bonus pick of the week, everybody. Bonus pick.
So I like the over in the Colorado UCF game.
Okay.
So Colorado is getting 14 points. I didn't like the number, but I do like the over in this game. I think the the man-to-man defense that Colorado likes to play, because obviously they have Travis Hunter, and that's what he's really good at, is going to work well. But I think they have UCF has a running quarterback. So KJ Jefferson, I believe, is the quarterback in UCF. He's just going to run. He's probably going to have 100 yards rushing. I would take that prop. So
are there going to be any Hail Marys?
I have no idea. I wonder what the field. Speaking of what the field's going to be like, but I think that's more toward Orlando. I don't think Orlando was hit as hard. So, but yeah, I like the over in that game.
Okay,
a lot.
There you go. Closing out college football. All right, let's get into the NFL. The hits keep coming, Coop. It's rough out there, everybody.
Yeah.
But I will say this week, week 3,
the unders went 10-4 last week.
The unders are killing it. Well, I'm going to tell a little stat in a minute. But last week was 8-8. It split down the middle. It didn't feel like 8-8.
No.
It felt like a beatdown because any big favorite just got destroyed and they lost outright. But to your point, unders went 10-4. But on the season, if you bet every game under, you'd be up. If you bet $110 over, usually 110 to make 100, right?
Right.
So $110 on every single game, you'd be up $500 right now. That's how it is on the unders. Unders killing it.
Wow.
That's the only one that you can do that. If you did that with favorites, you'd be getting mauled at like whatever minus $400, and then if you did the overs, you get massacres like minus $900.
Wow!
So it's definitely the way to go right now, early in the season. But yeah, it's been tough.
When does it flip?
There.
That's the
it
question.
Will. Well, now if you look, the totals are
October.
coming down. It's coming down. They're like 40s. Like the totals are down to 40 in most games. Like the average, it used to be like 2 years ago, the totals were all in like mid 40s and up. Now it's like all coming down. It's just, it's the year of the field goal kicker.
Yeah,
it's bizarre. Right. But let's talk first. Green Bay. I did like this game. We did not take the contest with that broken record. I don't think we did. Yeah, we didn't. So Malik, he did it. He can throw too. He had a good game. Malik, he got it done. Will Levis, he gives the game away. He does that. It was another turnover. They're leading the league in turnovers right now. And Green Bay won outright 30-14. So they covered that too easily. We'll talk about their big matchup this week. This is one of the big upsets. Cleveland, and we'll talk about Survivor in a minute. Cleveland, 6.5-point favorites. The Giants go into Cleveland and beat them. And it wasn't really that pretty of a game, but 21-15, Watson looked bad. And Cleveland, they only got 69 yards rushing on that Giants front. I'm very surprised by that. Not you?
I mean, I'm surprised that they won the way they did, especially because the first series of the game, they fumbled it, and then the next thing you know, the Browns were up 7-0.
I was like, oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah, and then it was nothing from that point forward.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't end up making this pick in the contest, but I was on the Bears. I'm not going to get too super negative. I'm going to the game on Sunday, going to the Bears game on Sunday. My buddy's got tickets. So
I was going to say thanks for the invite.
Well, it's not my tickets. You want to hide my backpack? I think they check those things.
Nah, come on.
But this was a battle.
I think I have a chance to be in a fur coat at this point. What do you mean?
This is a battle of terrible quarterbacks. Did you see the series where it was like, I think it was Caleb Williams threw a pick, and then like the next play or 2 plays later, Richardson threw a pick or something. These guys aren't very good. But in the end, Eberflus made some really bad decisions. I got a lot of texts on Sunday, and they lose again, 21-16. Defense is playing okay, but the offense is just failing all across the board.
Yeah, I think it falls more on
Eberflus.
Well, Eberflus and the offensive coordinator came
from
Seattle. Shane Waldron. He's terrible. He's terrible. Do you know the Bears have they've attempted 17 wide receiver screens to DJ Moore. They've completed 7 of them for a total of 4 yards this season.
Wow.
Yeah.
10 incompletions on a wide receiver screen?
Yeah.
That's not good.
No. What does it mean? Why are we throwing it? They lead the league in like throws behind or at the line of scrimmage. Like
they're worried about the offensive line. Did you see that one play? They showed it on
where all the guys were laying on the ground.
All the guys, that was like 4th and 1, and and Swift got taken out before the guys even stood up again.
I feel like Caleb doesn't have any justification to change plays at the line of scrimmage either. Like which makes no sense to me. Why draft a guy number 1 overall if you're not just going to give him the keys and like, okay,
right,
we're going to figure it out on the job. It's like you're just telling him what to do. I don't know.
So then this was a good pick. This is one of the upsets too. Denver was 6.5-point dogs. Hot take came through. Yes, Tampa looked bad on defense, got dominated by the mighty Bo Nix. 26-7 the final score, but I think he played well, but it was more the defense held Tampa to 223 yards. We need to start talking about Patrick Surtain Jr.
Yeah.
He is just holding down for every guy, and Mike Evans this time was the victim.
Yeah, no, I really like it. Garrett Wilson's under. It's like
Mm.
56.5. I've
Yeah.
already taken the under on that
Okay.
for wide receiver props this
Nice.
week.
Like
So,
it.
yeah, and Denver plays a lot of man-to-man. They're like second or third highest in the league,
They
and
do.
Tampa or Baker really struggles against man-to-man coverages. So that's the only
Good
reason
to
why I
know.
jumped on that one at the end of the week.
Good to know. I'll
Yeah.
come in the handicap here. The chat disconnected. Please wait. Sorry, we'll be back. Oh, it's back again. Anyway, Pittsburgh, they did it again. They 1.5-point favorites. This one we didn't know what was going to happen. Now, in the end,
Oh no, we knew.
well, wait a second now. What I was going to say is we didn't know Herbert was going to play. And then Herbert plays. He played well. The game was a good game, 10-10, and then he goes down, and that was over. The Taylor Heineke could not keep up with mighty Justin Fields. Justin Fields 3-0. Everybody says it's a reclamation project. I am happy for him. I wanted him to do well. I was a Fields, I wasn't in love with Fields. I just think he got a raw deal in Chicago. So I'm very happy. Even though Arthur Smith is maligned for his Atlanta days, he's definitely helping Fields get better as a quarterback, and there's no way they're going back with Russell Wilson.
No, probably not. I mean, Mike Tomlin can sit there and entertain it all he wants, but yeah, they're probably not going back.
Yeah, it's not happening. And then Baltimore, good call. It looked awesome at one point. Ravens 28-6, destroying them going to the fourth quarter. Almost blow the game. How the hell did he do
The
this?
key word was almost.
I know, but so how did it happen? Why did that happen?
Because it's rigged.
It's rigged.
It's just like last night. Why did Brandon Aubrey miss that kick at the end of the game for the Cowboys not to
He hasn't missed any 60.
Yeah, and he's banging him in from 60. Either he had missed all season. Yeah, it has not missed in his career inside of 50.
So they're like, we don't want people to turn their eyes off this game because they add revenue. That's your theory?
Something.
Okay.
That's the only. I mean, technically, the Ravens are like the worst defense when it comes to like blowing fourth quarter leads. So. I don't know, you could sit there and say that, but like, yeah, I mean, they were physically getting dominated. So like, the Ravens must have just turned it off. Like, there's no way
they were running all over them.
Oh yeah, for three quarters,
400 yards.
Like that score is not indicative of that game whatsoever.
Beat down.
Yeah,
and we knew it was like you said. Don't overthink it, Jim.
Yeah, he's 21-1 against the NFC. Do not overthink this.
Well, they weren't going to go 0-3. That was for sure.
He's 21-1 against the NFC. Do not overthink it.
But also, in general, take that angle. 0-2 team. Bet on the team that's 0-2 every time.
Yeah.
I mean, there was three. It didn't happen all the time, but a lot of them did, and you're going to win. Most of them are dogs, not that one. Carolina, here you go. 0-2 team. 5-5, 5.5-point dogs. You went and talked to Red Rifle. He was great. Raiders get embarrassed. Boom. You get the first win. Atlanta, this was a tough one. Actually, that's wrong. I marked this wrong. I'm sorry. That was supposed to be red. So this was a tough beat. This was a bad beat. I'm just telling you it was a bad beat.
Yeah, they had the ball twice in the fourth quarter to win the game. And that usually doesn't happen when you play the Chiefs.
But even then, did you see the PI, the no PI call?
Yeah.
The guy was destroyed.
Yeah.
And I think this total went up to 4.5, I think, or something, because it was much closer. I think it went up to 4.5. So, I mean, the Chiefs won and covered, shockingly, but that was a bad one. And then, personally, what I got mad about, not only did we pick Jacksonville plus 4.5, the train wreck known as Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence. And the worst sign, did you watch the game?
A little bit until I turned the Bengals game on.
The worst or the best was they kept showing the guy with
that
the
was
fake
dressed
wig.
like it. Yes, I saw.
The guy who was like my age.
Yeah.
The wig of Trevor Lawrence. And he's just like sitting there with all the Bills fans. But I just picked the wrong upset on Monday night.
Yeah, you did.
Because Washington, man, they came through. So what I did was Jacksonville money line. Boom, they're going to win. And I went, okay, we're going to do a spread parlay in Jacksonville and Washington. Wah, 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 wah. Don't gamble. Don't gamble, kids. Okay, so week 4, we already talked about Dallas. You think it's rigged, but they won the game but didn't cover. Another under, to your points. Keep winning those with the unders. And that game, I think they held the Giants to like under 2 yards a rush in this game. So they kind of committed against the run, and Daniel Jones' rag arm can't throw the ball deep. That's for sure. So nothing much to report there.
No.
What about Denver at the Jets? The Jets are 7.5-point favorites. It's a very low total of 39.5. What do you think about this game?
I like the Jets and I like the under.
Okay.
A couple of reasons. The biggest reason is the Jets have had 3 extra days off because they played Thursday night of last week. So
rest advantage.
Yeah, they haven't gone anywhere. They've been chilling at home. So I think just getting that more familiarity. Denver's coming off the biggest win of the season. They've got to go across the country. Rookie quarterback. I think this is like a 20-10 game, 23-10.
Well, did Denver stay East Coast because they played Tampa?
I don't know. Maybe, I don't think
I
it's
don't
going
know.
to make a difference.
I don't think it
regardless.
matters. I do agree with you. I don't
Tyler
like the number.
Conklin. Tyler Conklin, I think, is going to have a big game. I think the tight end will have a nice day.
Screw him.
I would take the props.
I had him on my team. I benched him last week. He went off.
Yeah.
Screw him.
You just don't pay attention enough, Jims. You know?
You told me to do that last week?
No. Well, I didn't realize you had him, so
he had like
apologize.
a catch for 15 yards 2 weeks in a row, and I benched him. So I hear you on the side. I'm not 7.5 is a tough number. I just can't do it. I can't do it personally.
No?
Yeah, no, can't do it.
Can't do it.
Not going to do it.
You don't like the number.
It's a terrible number.
Sure.
If you want this number, I would tease it down 1.5 and do the total, up and go under that.
I would almost tease it down. I would tease the total down.
It's going to be lower?
Yeah. I would take the under. I like the under here.
Yeah, the under is probably right, but 39.5.
Especially with Surtain on the other side, he can he can take Garrett Wilson out of the game.
But in general, with totals this low, 7.5, that's a really value to the underdog. So I'm just staying away on the side.
You're going by the book.
Going by the book. Hey man, some books got to work at some point. What about New Orleans at Atlanta? Atlanta's a 2.5-point favorite, 42-point total. That was a game we talked about a little bit. The Eagles, they're going to bounce back. Yeah, they won, but I don't know. It was a really interesting game. Boring game as hell. It was a boring game.
Why was it a boring game?
It's like what was the final score? 15-12 or something?
Yeah, but why does that mean it's boring?
It's boring.
The week before it was a good game for Philly because the week before you were so suspect in their defense, and all of a sudden they had a defense. They just didn't have an offense.
True, but I don't know. I don't like bad decisions by our guy who's still should be in the show. He's still making bad decisions. He doesn't want to kick the ball, doesn't want to go for it. He got kind of bailed out in this one because Goddard had the 61-yard catch on 3rd and 16. Otherwise, I think they would have lost this game outright.
That's fair. Well, we'll see.
Anyway,
I think Vic Fangio had a really good defensive game plan. This game I have a hard time with. I keep waffling on this game,
me too.
Especially Chris Olave is on the injury report, and so is Alvin Kamara.
Not good.
We don't know if they're going to obviously miss or not, but Atlanta plays a top 10 percentage of base defense, which is what the Eagles ran last week to really slow down the Saints run game.
Okay.
The problem is that the Eagles generate more pressure than the Falcons do. The Falcons only generate like the 22nd, I think, highest pressure rate. So it's not very frequent, not very often.
Yep.
And if you don't pressure Derek Carr, he's usually obviously better. You get like the Derek Carr that we're like, oh, who the hell is this guy? So that's why I keep kind of going back and forth. I'm going with Atlanta though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, take the favorite, 2.5. Division road dogs usually dominate mid-season. This isn't mid-season yet. So I think to me it's another stay away because I don't know what to say. I like the way Atlanta's defense is still playing, even though Kansas City did win the game.
Yeah.
They held that offense down pretty well. Now Carson. What's that?
They play a lot of zone.
They play a lot of zone. They have really good secondary. They did let, my guy Carson Steele run over them. I don't think if Kamara's out, then I do like, Atlanta in this game. If he's out. If he's not, then forget about it.
Because I like Atlanta either way, I think.
Okay. Cincinnati and Carolina. Oh, Cincinnati. We didn't talk about that game. So Cincinnati's a 4.5 point games on the road. They're favored. 47-point total. Man, Joe Burrow 0-3. There goes my Super Bowl runner-up pick. I don't know what to say about this team. Their defense played. Granted, we'll talk about Washington later. I think Washington's offense is. I'm not saying they're elite, but they are finding something. They haven't punted in 2 weeks, by the way.
Yeah.
But Cincinnati, they did put up the numbers. They just couldn't get the stops enough to win the game outright. Carolina, the Red Rifle, they know them. It's a revenge game, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
But 4.5, God, that's a terrible number for Cincinnati. There's no way you can lay 4.5 with Cincinnati. So it's Carolina or pass. And this guy's passing yet again.
It's the battle of the cats.
It is.
It's the battle of the cats.
You don't think a Bengal could beat a Panther?
I don't know. The one thing I really do like about this game, I would feel good about is teasing the total up. I think I was looking today, you can take it up to over 56, which I think is what I had, which is like plus 230. You can take it all the way up to 60 for plus 420.
Wow.
So if you want to get real frisky, I would go 60 because I think there's going to be a lot of points.
And here's the question: is T. Higgins playing this week or not?
Yeah, that's not what we're worried about. The two defensive tackles for the Bengals are both still questionable. That's right. BJ Hill and I cannot remember the second one, but they're both still questionable. They haven't practiced all week. As long as those two guys are out, this defensive interior line stinks. Like it smells worse than that fish tank, and it's a nightmare.
Facts.
It's a nightmare. So Chuba Hubbard can have a big day. I just think there's gonna be a lot of points, especially if those two defensive tackles don't play.
Okay. You
take
don't
it up to 60, baby.
You don't think that the Red Rifle will have a fall back to earth this week?
Not yet. No, because that defense is bad.
It is bad.
It's bad. So.
Ooh, we got a little pullover here. All right, at Butter Studios. Okay, well, again, I don't like any of these games so far. I'm abstaining from picking anything because I just like whatever. Okay, Rams at the Bears. Bears are 3-point favorites at home, 40.5 point total. I, like you, early in the week, love the Rams. I think there's no way the Bears should be favored by 3 against anybody. That's the way I kind of look at it. Simple math. But, there's still injuries on the Rams. Their offensive line looked better later in the game than early in the game against San Francisco. So it's Rams or pass here. And the total being 40.5, that's probably right where it needs to be. These teams, the Bears are playing pretty good defense. But are you still on the Rams?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, why?
They have a quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over,
True.
And they're playing a team that the quarterback loves to turn the ball over.
Yeah.
And that's about the simplest thing that I could break it down to. Because everything else points to the Bears. Like especially when it was like 2.5, all the sharps were on the Bears. It's like there's no possible way the Bears can play any worse than what they did last week. And there's no way the Rams could replicate how well they played
in the fourth quarter.
Right. So I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. And I just think that, having that tendency. And plus, they can't run the football. They can't, the Bears can't exploit.
The Bears don't run.
They can't even run against the Colts, and everybody runs the ball against the Colts.
I know.
So I just think they have a coaching and a schematic issue, and I know Sean McVay won't have that. So they won't get in their own way. They'll just get beat. I don't think they're good. He's a good enough coach to actually beat Sean McVay. He needs help, and that's not going to happen.
If the Bears lose, will they fire Eberflus?
No, the Bears never fire anybody in season. So they should, because that's the best way to get Ben Johnson or somebody with an offensive. If they don't hire an offensive coach to replace Matt Eberflus, you might as well pack it in and enjoy what you're going to get for the next however long, because it's going to be nothing. It's going to be a big nothing burger. Unless they get Mike Vrabel. That's the only guy that I can think of.
Oh my God, fire him tomorrow. Get Vrabel in.
Vrabel would be the only one that's not an offensive mind. That'd be okay, this could actually work. Right. But if it's not Ben Johnson or the guy in Houston, Ben Slowick, right?
Bobby.
Or Bobby Slowick, right? Or somebody in the Shanahan tree, whatever the case. So if they don't do something along those lines, they're screwed.
What about Bears going to Tyson Bagent?
No, that won't happen.
Don't think that'll matter? No. Oh, no, they won't happen.
That won't happen.
Do you think he'd win?
No.
They're still bad. They're just bad.
They're bad schematically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You heard it here. Minnesota, Green Bay. Green Bay is a 2.5 point favorite at home, 44 point total. The market is actually up to 3, speculating Love's going to play. I don't really care. Green Bay, 2.5. Book it. Minnesota's going to have a downer. I'm sorry, your boy Darnold's going to have a tough day. He's going to Lambeau. He's been playing great. I think he could be comeback player of the year right now, and he probably can still continue that way. And they have a really good team. Don't get me wrong, and Flores is tough, but I think Green Bay is going to beat them.
I like the under here just because of the health of Jordan Love. Even if he does play, I just feel like he won't be as mobile.
For sure.
So I like the under here. I think both defenses could play pretty deep. Because to your point, I think at some point he's going to have a comeback to earth game, right?
It's going to happen.
But I do like another prop I do like is Aaron Jones longest rush over 15.5.
That's a revenge game.
Yeah. So and every team that's played the Packers has had a rush over that total. So last week when they played the Colts, Jonathan Taylor had had 4 rushes over 16.5 yards.
Okay,
so we just need one from Aaron Jones. So I think that would happen. I like that prop bet. And then I also, like I said, like the under. But early in the week I was with Minnesota, and then I keep going. I'm waffling on this.
You're listening to Jimmy Wegs too much? No,
Matt LaFleur is a good coach, and he's proven that. But also, Brian Flores is probably the best defensive coordinator in the league right now.
He's getting it done.
They're getting it. Yeah, they're shutting down good offenses between the 49ers and the Texans. And they're actually probably the most fortified 3-0 team by schedule, at least to this point.
Yeah, more legit. Yeah.
So, stay away.
Okay.
I'm doing the old Jim Wegs.
No mas?
Yeah, I'm doing the old Jim Wegs here.
Okay, what about the Jags at Houston? Houston's a 6-point favorite at home, 44.5 point total. I'm going to say a lot of things on this. The Jags are 0-3. So if they lose, they got to fire home guy. They got to fire Peterson. But
home guy,
nice. Not home guy. Here's the thing. We all know, well, first of all, Houston always wins this matchup, even when they sucked so that's a bad thing for me. Like trend wise, you always have to pick Houston this matchup, but no Joe Mixon, no Tank Dell. I heard that Nico Collins could miss this goddamn game. Can Stroud still beat these guys and cover 6 points with half of his offense out? We know it can happen, but would you bet on it?
Oh man, especially on a short week for Jacksonville. They just got embarrassed.
Embarrassed.
Yeah. I don't know. This is another stay away game for me. But I guess if you had to lean one way, I would just lean toward the team that got embarrassed.
You have to.
And then if it burnt me, then I would just leave them alone the rest of the season. I would just hammer them. So
right. Yeah, it's Jacksonville or pass. I mean, which is kind of weird that we thought there was going to be a marquee division game, and now it's just nothing. But all right, Pittsburgh at Indy. Pittsburgh's a 1.5 point favorite on the road, 40-point total. You have a nice stat here. I'm on the Pittsburgh train again. I can't believe it. Four weeks in a row. I mean, this is scaring me. But it's not about Justin Fields. The defense is playing so well. I just don't see how Indy's going to put up points against this defense. And we know that they're going to try to run the ball, and Fields should have a big rushing game against, the Colts in addition to Najee and whoever else they put back there. So what's yours? And the market's a little bit better. It's like 2 points for Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Well, Pittsburgh on the road as a favorite under the Mike Tomlin era, their unders hit 81% of the time.
That's a lot.
So we're taking the under here. We're going to ride the Pittsburgh unders. That's what I was going to say. That's probably one of the under trains we could have been riding this whole time.
I know, Pittsburgh for sure.
We got to remember these things.
It's them in Arizona. Why is Arizona Overs didn't hit this time?
No. Who was the Carolina's turning into the new over team, honestly. They're right before our very eyes.
Those small linemen. Okay, good to know. So under, and then I like Pitt. And then Philadelphia at Tampa. Philly's at 1.5 point favorite, 42.5 point total. Vita Vea is back. Did you hear that?
I did.
He's playing.
Did
you know that A.J. Brown will not play?
That is correct.
Did you know that I think Barkley's playing, right?
Yeah.
But isn't somebody else missing? Smith? Or is it Goddard?
Devonta Smith's not playing.
I don't know, man. I got to go Tampa again, man. I hate it. I don't like this team. Like, I loved them against Detroit because I knew it was like a revenge spot. But this game, it feels bad, but I think they're going to 1.5. I think they're going to win this game.
Tampa outright, eh?
Yes.
Little hungry dog.
Well, they got embarrassed last week too.
Yeah, they did. I like Philly here. I don't know what it is. Even with Vita Vea playing, Philly will find a way. They've just got a better team.
Yeah.
I believe in Howie Roseman. He'll find a way to get it done.
Who are they going to involve on offense then? I guess it would be
It's got to be Jahan Dotson.
Well, and Jahan Dotson. It could be, and then obviously Barkley, right? Barkley's healthy.
Yeah, it's going to be they're going to run. They're going to have to run.
And Jalen Hurts, man, he's turning the ball over too much too.
Yeah.
But okay, we're on opposite sides there, which is fine. It's not like whatever. It's like my 6th pick, but we'll see. Okay, Washington at Arizona. Arizona's a 3.5 point favorite, 50 point total. That's not enough points because these teams will score and don't have great defenses. This is in the 3 o'clock window now. I like Washington again, plus 3.5. I know it's a road game, back-to-back road games for Washington. They were riding high. Maybe they fall to earth, but you don't think that Cliff Kingsbury can't give a couple nuggets to the defense for Kyler Murray, or no?
Maybe it's going to come down to pressure. I mean, Kyler Murray is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league when it comes to the blitz. But
right. Washington will probably punt this game the first time in 3 weeks.
Maybe. I just like Arizona for the couple. Like Washington's young, they just had the biggest win, and like their franchise, right? Because everything's like brand new from the top down. So this is the biggest win of like the organization from a standpoint of that regard. And I think it's Arizona. They're just gonna fly out there. It's be nice and warm. It's not raining. It's gonna be I think it's a young team. You're gonna find out a lot about Washington this week. I told you they could be a playoff team this year.
I think they won the division, dude.
Yeah, in our preview, I told you Washington could be frisky. So I like Arizona here though.
Okay. I mean, it's a bounce back spot. They didn't play good last week, so they can, we'll see what happens. New England, San Francisco, boy, this is a tough one. 10.5 point favorites for San Francisco, 40.5 point total. It's on a 3:05 start. I don't think Debo's going to play, but Kittle's supposed to play. He practiced today. I mean, did people just figure out that New England's not good now? That's what's happening?
I thought we knew that already.
We did, but, the Jets, I don't know, San Francisco or pass, 10.5. It's a lot of points, but.
Yeah, you take San Francisco and you feel good about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to run the ball a lot. Yeah.
More points.
And Shanahan, he'll figure he's going to just run. I mean, they've been embarrassed, so yeah, he's going to run it up.
Well, he's not going to let up. That's for sure. The second half, in the fourth quarter. So okay, Cleveland at the Raiders. This is
this is dysfunction game. Versus more dysfunction.
1.5 point total, or 1.5 point favorite for the Raiders right now. 37-point total. This is interesting. I don't know if you heard this. I don't know if Devontae Adams is going to play.
No.
I also don't know if Max Crosby is going to play. It appears to me that they are quitting on our guy, Antonio Pierce. Or at least showing, because he said that, what do you say, people are making business decisions? So I guess they're making a business decision and not going to play. So Cleveland is just garbage, though. So
they're missing 2 starting linemen, too.
Cleveland?
Yeah. I love the under in this game, by the way.
So bad.
I love the under.
Yeah.
I got it at 39.5. It's okay. You got it at 37.
Crashing.
Yeah, I love it at 39.5. I mean, I would start to worry a little bit more around 35 or 36. But yeah, I love that under.
Yeah, it's an ugly
Cleveland
game.
Can't run the ball at all.
I really hope. Well, I'm going to be at the Bears game, so maybe I don't have to come home. I want to see this game because I don't want to watch it. I hope they don't feature this game. Hopefully, it's maybe Kansas City, I guess. So we'll just skip that. You like the under?
I just like the under.
Forget the side.
Everything else about that game is
And Myles Garrett's not playing either, right? Or is he?
No, he will.
He will.
Yeah, I would probably take Cleveland if you made me pick.
Of course.
Yeah.
They played last year, and I think the Raiders beat them. That was a surprise, but anyway, okay. Kansas City at the Chargers. 7-point favorites for Kansas City on the road. 40-point total, very low total. Herbert's out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's up to 7.5 now.
Yeah, it keeps going up. But I can't do it. I can't lay that many points with the Chiefs. I can't do it. I don't care if it's Tyler Heineke or not. The defense is good, no question, but they don't. If you look back at
they don't blow people out.
Chiefs probably should have lost all 3 games, right?
I told you that. Yeah.
So I'm going Chargers, baby.
I think they've only won their 3 games by a combined 12 points, right? Because they beat the Falcons by 5. They beat the Bengals by what? 1.
They beat the Bengals by 2, maybe
2, and they beat the Ravens by what? 6 or by 7?
Like,
because they would have they were going to go for 2 and win the game.
Go for 2.
Yeah. So I think it was 12 points. So they don't blow anybody out. I think to give 7.5 away to a team that's only a plus 12 in their point differential, I think that's ludicrous. Yeah.
And how do you beat the Chiefs? You run the football.
Yeah, you ball control, baby.
You run the football. What do you think? What he's going to do? He's just going to hand the ball off.
Yeah.
So I like the plus 7 quite a bit. Under, probably an under. 40 is probably the right total, but I like the Chargers. I like them. I don't even think I'm on my picks. Oh no, they're right there, number 4. All right, so let's go to Sunday night game now. Buffalo at Baltimore.
Oh yeah,
2.5 point favorites for Baltimore at home. Finally returning home. 46.5 point total here. Sunday night football. Who do you like?
No, who do you like?
First of all, I'm a Bills guy in here in my heart, but I always root for Lamar. So I think that Baltimore at home, they can run the football. That's also the Bills' Achilles heel. You can run the ball against them. And I think you're right. I don't know why you highlighted it. Maybe that's because that's your 401k pick.
Oh my God, James. There it is. Yeah. It is the 401k pick of the week for Baltimore minus 2.5.
Art, don't put it your 401k. You got plenty in there.
First of all, the Bills have beaten the Cardinals, the Dolphins, and the Jaguars. Those teams are combined 2-7.
They're trash. Yeah.
Their record does not necessarily live up to what it says on paper.
Yeah.
They're definitely going up a step in class here.
Yeah.
They're going to Baltimore on a short week.
Yep.
Short week.
Yeah.
Because they played Monday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that they're going to get hammered. I think this is, you can tease this one up if you want. Yeah. I think
pump it up. Huh?
I think the Ravens are going to slaughter. Yeah. I think the Ravens are going to, Derrick Henry's going to feast. Lamar Jackson's going to have his way.
Have his way.
They're going to do everything.
Somebody says in the chat, I'm saving money for the craps table and horse racing only. That's right. Exactly.
But no, 401k lock of the week, Ravens minus 2.5. I love it at 2.5.
It's great. It's a great number.
I think it's a great number.
I mean, the Buffalo's been playing well, but like you said, the competition's not that great. And I think Baltimore's going to play spirited after last week. Maybe they'll finish the game this time.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned in our preview, the Ravens have to run the gauntlet the first 7 games of the season.
Very tough.
Yeah. So they're used to stepping up in that class. Their record at 1-2 is not necessarily indicative.
No big deal.
Yeah. So, I love the Ravens here.
What about the 46.5 point total? What do you think?
I didn't put any thought into that. I just love the Ravens minus 2.5.
I think it's going to go over, but yeah.
You think?
Yeah. I think both teams will score some points. It's going to be a fun one. This is a good Sunday.
Hopefully
night
they get the tight ends involved because I have Mark Andrews and I'm about done with it. I'm about just
Dalton Kincaid catches one pass, touchdown, great, but come on, throw him the ball.
They didn't need to.
Josh Allen spreads the ball around too much.
Script kind of killed you there, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, so there's 2 Monday night games again, Dalton, which is exciting.
I hate 2 Monday. I don't know how you feel. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I can't focus on one. Like,
when I was at the casino, it was great. I'm rolling dice and watching my money go and watching my teams not play well.
Thank God there's one was a blowout.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to pay attention to it. But
That's true.
I don't like 2 games. I don't have 2 screens. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's a me problem. Maybe
Sounds like a you problem.
It is a me problem. I apologize, but I still don't like 2 games.
I get it.
Yeah.
You don't.
No, I would much rather have 2 on Monday night.
They call that a twofer.
Well, I'd much rather have them have 2 on Monday night and can Thursday nights. I think just because usually the quality on Thursday nights usually stinks, especially the longer we go into the season. But I feel like Monday night is at least usually better quality. Minus Jacksonville this past week. But,
right.
Yeah, we'll see.
So the first game is Tennessee at Miami. 1.5 point favorite. It's down to 1 in the market. 1.5 is the circa line. I should have specified that. I'm listing the circa lines now. 36.5 point total. And the market is down for Miami -1. You know who's starting for Miami?
Tyler Huntley.
Upgrade?
Over Tim Boyle?
No, not Tim Boyle. Over Skylar Thompson.
Well, Tim Boyle was the 3rd stringer. He had to play last week because Skylar Thompson got hurt.
And that was an ugly game. So
you can call it that.
60. First of all, it's like 6:30 Eastern. I'm on Miami, dude. They're gonna win. They're gonna win this game. 1.5. The Titans.
The Miami's run defense is not good though, so they're not going to have to rely on Will Levis to give the game away.
Will Levis is terrible.
Yeah, well, he will give the game away if you let him. But I think Brian Callahan is smart enough to know not to let Will Levis throw the game away. He'll just run the ball a lot.
Okay,
but I don't know.
And the Titans defense has been decent, but I mean, obviously Malik Willis lit him up last week. But I mean, that is a better. I mean, come on, you're promoting your guy, what's his name, Mike McDaniel, all the time, and he's got to be able to scheme it. You got great players.
You can scheme it, but you can't execute it, especially in his offense. Well, the art of the biggest thing also, like the more I watch and listen about Tua, his play action game is really good. Like the way that he can fake and have his back, the way, the timing of him turning his back to him getting back to the defense was the quickest in the NFL. So he could do play action quicker than everybody in the league.
Okay.
And I guess that's one of the loopholes in this offense is that you have to be able to run it that fast.
Sure.
So
it's
play
action.
Well, when you get rid of the play action in Mike McDaniel's offense, it's kind of useless.
You don't think Huntley could do that?
No.
Okay.
If he could,
so you're taking the Titans +1.
I don't like that game at all. I like the under. That's all I like.
Under, huh?
Yeah, I like the under.
36.5. That's low.
Yeah, I like the under.
That's awfully low.
Yeah.
I'm going Fins. I'm still Fins in.
Fins in. There it is. They're gonna need. I don't know. I wish they would have drafted Michael Penix. That's all
I know.
Yeah.
I think so too. All right. So Seattle and Detroit is the capper. That's at 7:15.
This should be a good game.
This should be a good game. 7:15 p.m. Central. 3.5 point favorites for Detroit. 46.5 point total. It's this confounding line, right? But Seattle.
You're gonna do it, aren't you?
Lay the wood.
You're gonna do it, aren't you?
I am gonna do it.
Nice.
I'm going all in. I still don't love the number, but it won't be a contest pick unless action's really firm on it. I think Seattle comes back to earth this week. Detroit they've been just kind of there, dicking around a little bit, go to the desert. Now we're back home Monday night.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I like Seattle. I like the number.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff has been a lot less efficient this year, and there's a lot of statistical evidence to back that up. As far as
you were pro Goff in the preseason. What happened?
Well, he hasn't played nearly like he has last year at efficient, especially at the efficiency rate. Like his yards between 8 and 15, throws of 8 to 15 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's almost down almost 10% in completion percentage and stuff like that. So last week they went to playing the hits, right? Like they ran the football. Yeah. Both backs were involved. They went to Amon-Ra. They got kind of Sam Laporta involved a little bit.
Laporta's a little banged up.
I think they're a little predictable right now. I don't like it. I like Seattle. I think Seattle's got a lot of good things going. Their defense is really good.
Defense is solid. They're playing well.
Gino's playing really well again.
Getting involved.
So it's they're still transitioning, I think, from Jackson Smith to being their number 2.
Yeah,
as opposed to Tyler Lockett.
Not always their number 2.
But they still have 3 good options. And they're running the ball well without Kenneth Walker.
Mhm.
So I don't know if he's going to play this week or not. So
He's the third.
yeah, KW3.
I didn't meet the other two, but
fair enough. But yeah, I like Seattle there.
the number is trash. I'm not going to pretend. It's not on my picks because of it, because I hate the number, but I think Detroit will definitely win the game. We'll see if they can cover that number. Here are my favorite picks this week. Coop, we've got Green Bay, -2.5. Shocker. Riding them all the way, baby. Miami, -1.5. Look at all these favorites. Pittsburgh, -1.5.
Nice.
Look at these favorites.
Look at them.
Now we're going to hit some. Come on. Chargers, +7. Give it to me. Washington, +3.5. And Tampa, +1.5. So those are, I know it's a 6. I should only go 5, but I couldn't decide on the last couple of them.
Oh, you couldn't? You just went.
Well, I do like Tampa 1.5 quite a bit, and I was on the Rams like you were early. That was my 6th, and I'm like, I think Tampa's going to win this game. So, how about yourself?
I have Baltimore, obviously, -2.5.
Be more.
I'm taking the Rams at +3. I'm taking the Eagles at -1.5.
Sit there.
We're taking the Cardinals -3.5, and then the Panthers at +4.5.
You are the Red Rifle champion.
Yeah, at least for now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not bad. I mean, we disagree on a couple, but not too many. So I want to talk to you about Survivor, even though we're out of it, because this is fucking nuts. Sorry, it's a family program. This is nuts. 14,266 entries to start. That was just when we were in Vegas. It feels like yesterday. Just a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
642 left. 4.5% in 3 weeks.
So much for saving the teams for Thanksgiving.
Woo, 95.5. Oh, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have picked teams. I thought Houston would have been the only one I wouldn't have saved in that situation, right? And they beat the Bears, but that was a close one. Wow, 95.5% eliminated in 3 weeks. It's a new record.
Is it really? Did they send that out?
They did. Well, at least in this history of this thing. But I mean, I've done Survivor many years. It's never this fast. But you know what? 642 can hold on, and things are going to normalize in the league, so it's going to be better. And then our picks have been rough. 2 and 3, probably our worst quarter ever. The leader is 13-2. That guy bounced back, so he had a tough first couple weeks. Now he's doing pretty good. Mark it now. You can still go 18-2, which is kind of a normal mark for the first quarter. So, we took it in the teeth. We'll come back next quarter. We got to build our momentum this week. Hopefully we get it. And I forgot. Oh shoot, I forgot to do this. It's okay. We're at a good point. New Club Dub, new baby Robert's coming.
Oh, nice.
Number 2. Roberts in January. Another Roberts coming out there.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, Action and Melissa are expecting. He told me that last week. Congrats. I got to get another. Maybe I'll get a onesie made. I made a T-shirt for it's too big. It's like the smallest size was too big. I'm gonna try to make a onesie on custom ink just for the new baby, and then we've got a Side Action.
Nice.
Side Action family's growing.
Okay. Nice. Hell yeah.
So what are you up to this weekend?
Tonight, nothing much. Probably just work stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then NHL 25 came out. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So the boys will probably play tonight, if anything. Tomorrow morning, I got to help somebody move.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting paid. Keela gives people my phone number, and this person texts me like, "Hey, I need help moving. Keela mentioned you would help." And
sure.
If you're paying, sure.
Yeah, a couple $100. Good.
Yeah, there you go. So it pays for the fantasy hockey drafts that we're doing.
Nice.
So, and then we have Dana's party on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Homegirl's going to Wisconsin to play volleyball this weekend.
Yeah, you told me that.
That's
exciting.
I was gonna say, kind of have like a weekend like.
Well, Lee's coming.
He's arriving.
Nice. Our Pan.
Okay. Yeah, we might do a
Wolfpack
reunion.
Wolfpack
nice. Reunion. Okay. And then Sunday's just football, really.
Yeah.
So I'll probably do brunch.
Ooh.
I think we'll go to replay.
You like
Stephanie.
replay.
Yeah. Well, the other Stephanie, we do like replay.
Okay.
Replay gatherings, if you will, because they always have football on.
Yeah.
So it's a good time.
Just message from Paul. I just thought he had another issue. So.
Oh, nice. I was going to say, what now?
Live on there.
So, but you mentioned the Bears game. What else you got going on?
So I'm going to the Magic Lounge tonight.
Nice.
It's my nephew Addison's 21st birthday a couple days ago.
Okay.
I had this idea before I left town to come back for this weekend so we could take him to the Magic Lounge. Super excited. It's his first time. He used to do Magic when he was a kid. I'm sure he's like, Uncle Jim, I don't like Magic anymore. But guess what? You're going to the Magic Lounge, kid.
I heard it's a good time.
Oh, it's an awesome time.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Good date. Very good date. But do it in advance because they do book out quite a bit. And you have to purchase a seat because there's designated seats in there and stuff. Pretty awesome. So we're going to meet them up about 7:30 in a couple hours. And then Dana's party, as you mentioned. I'm probably gonna catch up with Ridgeway in the afternoon after you move. If you're gonna watch some college football,
Nice.
Prime, you're invited as well since you're still on there. And then the Bears game with Johnny U and the gang, and then I head to Tulsa on Monday.
Nice.
Little celebratory dinner, and then fly back to Hawaii on Tuesday. So
I did make a parlay here.
ooh,
Yeah,
parlay.
I did like it. I'll share it with you.
Yeah.
Since we're live, I didn't
Sure.
mean to cut you off either.
No, all good. We're good.
Good. I was hoping you keep filling air.
Oh yeah, I can keep filling air. I got no food here. I've got a couple of frozen pizzas.
Nice.
A couple of frozen pizzas, and got to get some little food. I got some beef jerky. You know, it's
So-
nothing when you're not really living here anymore.
Nice little under parlay you can follow.
Ooh.
Plus 595. We took the Browns Raiders under at 37, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Colts under at 40, and then
Nice.
the Broncos and Jets under at 54.5.
Yeah.
Also have the alternate total.
Well, what's
total.
the payout on that? We want the payout, dude.
Oh, it's plus 595.
Plus 595.
Yeah. So, and you can do the teaser for the over 54 in the Bengals Panthers game at plus 201.
Okay, so alt total.
Yeah, I doubled down and took the original over at over 47.
Sure.
And then we have a 4-teamer as well at plus
Are
821.
these money lines or what are they?
No,
you have
just
an
it's
under?
over.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay.
just I have one money line in this one. So
Okay.
we took the under in the Saints Falcons game at 42.
Okay.
That's really good now with the injuries coming out with Olave and whatnot.
Mhm.
We took the over 50.5 Commanders Cardinals. We took the Jets money line, and then the under 43.5 in the Packers Vikings game. That's plus 821. So
I like it.
I like the injury, like the injuries of Jordan Love. The Packers may win, but I just feel like
Yes.
that's going to be a difference as far as scoring points for them. So
There you go. And this just in, Paul found the transponder to get into the garage. So
Hell yeah.
he can finally I will not be contacted by the registration to verify him or the license plate number or.
he should attach it to his trunk. You'd never lose it.
Well, yeah, you're supposed to attach it to his trunk. I see what you did there. Ladies, I don't know if it goes down to the trunk, but you can find out, not me. All right, well, follow us.
That's a great way to wrap up, Jim. There you
Side
go,
Action
baby.
Pod on X and Side Action Podcast on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram on X at Wegspool.
Hell yeah. And you can check me out on Instagram at Dalton Cooper, on X at Mr. Grumpy Gills. Again, we are the Side Action Podcast. Check us out on Instagram and X at Side Action Pod, at Side Action Podcast. Until next week, happy betting. We're gonna be hybrid next week again. aren't we?
Yeah, we're back
Damn.
to hybrid
Oh,
for
there
a
it
couple
is.
months,
So,
guys. Sorry.
from the Edgewater Studios.
Until you visit.
Until next time. There it is.